This is Yorkshire.
Built on pride.
Forged through generations.
Now, a new season begins.
Driven by ambition.
We play to compete.
We play to win.
Driven by those who stand with us.
This is Yorkshire.
We don't stand still.
We move forward.
Together.
word patience today. You know, we might have to be patient. Don't
And they
expect
also,
it to just happen.
yeah, and then they also know that there is still the odd one in there. Because we saw it yesterday, poor old Rory Burns, what he was meant to do with both his deliveries that he was out to, I'm not quite sure really. It just, you know, that happens. As White is in to Sibly. Oh, no, dropped at leg slip by Dom Bess, exactly the way he went yesterday. And it was Dom Bess yesterday that hung on to the chance. This time he puts it down. And he's in there at leg slip for exactly that reason. And that was exactly the way that Dom Sibly went yesterday. Full face of the bat, just flicking it, and he couldn't hang on this occasion, Dom Bess. So, there's the first big moment this morning. A life for Sibly. Almost identical to yesterday. As White is in, and Sibly forward, and will get his first run of the day. So Sibly moves on to 34. We'll have to wait to see whether that's really costly from a Yorkshire perspective, but you don't want to be putting Sibly down too many times.
No, and it's hard to be harsh, and it's a moment, it's reaction and all that. Dom knows he's well capable of hanging on to those. He does it, well, not necessarily in that position, but he's just a very good fielder, so it's just one of those things. You've got to move on.
They go down, don't they? And he took a terrific catch in there yesterday to get rid of Sibly. As Blake is in behind this one, turns it into the leg side. Adam Lythe picks up. Of course, Surrey dropped Lythe when he was, 31 on the first day. And that was costly from a Surrey perspective.
Yeah, and typical of a match that's not been taken, Dom Bess is across to the Yorkshire physio with the medical bag, so probably because he's not caught it clean, that's some sort of pain to the hand. He's looking like he's motioning, that he might want some sort of tape around his hand as a result. Bandage maybe. He's not got anything on there out of the bag for the moment, and he's running back on, but he may, if the Yorkshire Fizz gets what he wants, have some treatment.
The other thing with leg slip is it gets you very quickly. And again, that came off the full face of Sibly's bat, so it got to him very quickly.
Yeah, and you're kind of slightly unsighted because of the way the batter will shape as well. So there's all those things. Not easy. So Richardson is in and bowling. Oh, Tom Sibly. Dear me. If
well, look,
again in the unmentionables.
Let's. There's that famous beer commercial, isn't there? And I think it would be, if Sibly made abdominal guards, they'd be the best abdominal guards in the world, because he's been hit flush again there. Oh dear. But again, quick rearrangement, and off he goes again.
So he keeps wearing them, and he keeps on batting at the moment. 34 for Sibly as Richardson bowls. This time it's wide off stump. And he leaves.
The other thing I was going to say with Sibly is he's a bit like Lythe. He does love batting. So he'll be fancying this today. It's a chance to bat all day, which Sibly likes to do, really. Doesn't have to go out of his bubble. He can just play his way today.
Yeah, it's kind of a net in tricky conditions, isn't it, really? So it's a good net in that respect. It's a challenge. Oh, could be out this time, is.
Great
Caught by Joe Root at... no, not by Joe Root, my apologies. Caught at second slip by Harry Brook, I think it was. To his left, it was Harry Brook. Apologies, Joe and Harry. 88 for 6, either way, and that is a big wicket for Yorkshire to start the day. So one very relieved man will, of course, be Dom Bess after what happened in the previous over, and Yorkshire have got it done, and Sibly has gone for 34, 135 minutes, 82 deliveries and 5 fours included, and Yorkshire, there'll be a collective sigh of relief, I think, among the 11 out there.
It's a good piece of bowling from Richardson, just the right area they always talk about, but he's got to play at that, Sibly, can't let that go. Hits the edge, good catch from Brook. Sort of taking it away to his left behind himself. But good bowling from Richardson. And that is huge. Sibly going early on this morning for 34. Because as we were saying, you know, there's a guy that can bat all day. So Sibly goes. And that gets a bit tougher now for Surrey, but an excellent piece of bowling from Richardson. And they have been good with the ball here. They've used the conditions perfectly. Have Yorkshire. So out marches Jordan Clark, who was out first ball yesterday, poor chap. Got one that lifted on him, played it straight into the ground. It rolled back and hit his stump. So he's a fighter. He's Jordan Clark. And having a chat there with Josh Blake. But that's the perfect start, really, for Yorkshire. And as you say, Don Bess will be feeling a bit happier about everything now. I don't know whether Sibly could have done much more there, really. You know, you're trying to get your feet moving. It's early in the morning. Got to play at it. Just a good bit of bowling, and I think you put that down to excellence from Jai Richardson.
Yeah, he's been much better in this match. He's built towards this one. Unfortunately for him and for Yorkshire, it's of course his final game. This will be his final innings, may even be his final spell. 88 for 6, Jordan Clark, as DT says from the back of the box on a king pair. Oh, it's a good delivery. He's greeted with first up, full, just wide of off stump, and not sure if he was playing at that or not, really. He sort of hung the bat out just to the side of his body. Let's have a look again.
Oh, it's tailed.
No, he does play at that, yeah.
It's tailed late as well. It's a great take from Bairstow.
So they've closed in now, the Yorkshire field. 4 slips, leg slip, short leg. Adam Lyther's gone in under the lid. There's a point. Matthew Revitt on the wicket ends at wide mid-off, come extra cover, and Jack White at mid-on. Richardson tail up then with 2 to come in the over. Bowls now.
Played.
And it was well played by Jordan Clark, who took slightly evasive action while keeping his eye on the ball, and he's got it away backward of square. Bess fields, and they pick up 2. So he's avoided the dreaded pair.
Yeah, I felt like I was shopping there with Dave Townsend at the fruit stall, shouting king pair. It's a shame, really, because Richardson's looked in cracking rhythm here, and he's bowled quick. So it's a shame it's his last game. He looks like he's sort of hit form now.
Yeah, he would. Final ball of the over. And he's into bowl to Clark. He leaves one wide of off stump, so 90 for 6 at the end of the over. Yeah, he's I mean, without, you know, for want of a better expression, he's kind of been all over the shop in his first couple of games, really. Partly, you know, I think, speaking yesterday as I did, he was quite badly hit by that food poisoning, so it took him a while to get over that, I think. Longer than just, you know, nip into the loo once and...
Oh, it's horrible, that, isn't it?
So,
especially when he's trying to run in and bowl fast.
Yeah. So that's not helped. There was a pre-agreed rest as well as part of the package with Cricket Australia. And here we find ourselves in the final game. But, you know, clearly, you just have to look at his record to know that he's a good bowler.
Definitely. As White will come around the wicket from the Howard stand end to Josh Blake, who's forward. The left-handed Blake playing this one up towards mid-off, and there's no run.
Interesting to see if there's a future, you know, for him here for another spell.
Well, I was just thinking, actually, if Yorkshire did get him back, he'd be better for this spell. And the other thing is, he's never played county cricket, has he? So even the best bowlers in the world, it takes a little bit of time to get used to everything.
And by all accounts, he has loved that.
Yep.
And been around the club.
Oh, he's looked good in this game. As around the wicket goes White, and shout for LBW, gone. Looks a good one, just nipping back. Good bowling from around the wicket, hits that front pad of Josh Blake. And I wasn't at all surprised to see umpire Goff's finger go up there. This is a great start from Yorkshire. And Josh Blake goes, and Surrey are 90 for 7.
Yeah, he's just not got anywhere, has he, really? Angled in. It hits him middle and off, and probably leg. flipping leg, something like that. But you can't see why. The finger went up, and 19 from 33 deliveries. 44 minutes of batting by Josh Blake either side of the overnight, and 3 boundaries included, but he trudges off somewhat disconsolate, and at the end is creeping closer.
It's excellent from Yorkshire, because both Sibly and Blake there have been got out by the bowlers. Really good start from Richardson and White. Haven't given them anything. And Sean Abbott, who made 56 yesterday, makes his way out to the middle in his long sleeve sweater. But yes, this is rapidly heading towards a conclusion here in Leeds. And Yorkshire are going to be value for this win. And they really are. And it'll be a wake-up call for Surrey. It really will. I'll be honest with you. I looked at Surrey this season and I thought they're going to be a damn hard side to beat. They might not win every game, but they're going to be a hard side to beat. And unless something extraordinary happens from here, they're going to go into the T20 break with a defeat. Sorry. But Yorkshire have been very, very good here. So Abbott getting ready for his first delivery as White is over the wicket, and Abbott's forward, turning this just in front of a diving Bess. Oh dear, and that's hit that hand again of Don Bess. It's away for 4. David is wandering around behind me. It's like having... What are you doing now? That's away for 4. 94 for 7. Why didn't you tidy up last night? He's decided now, whilst we're trying to commentate on cricket, to tidy the desk up.
Well, he's probably just had a moment
He's
where...
just wandering around, shuffling about the commentary box, picking up packets of milk.
I have a
and biscuits.
regular pop at him at Scarborough because he leaves the com box there. Callie is
yeah.
his best buddy as well. He leaves the com box, named after Callie, in a right state usually when we leave the place there.
94 for 7. Forward goes Abbott. Can you make any more noise at the back of the box as well, David? As Abbott plays that one straight back up the pitch, and White does the fielding off his own bowling, and there's no run. Yeah, well, there we are, you see. He's got his biscuit now. He's sat eating his chocolate digestive. He's very happy with himself. He's done a bit of tidying up.
He's like the naughty little schoolboy. You can imagine when Mum and Dad said quiet when he was younger, he'd still have to have one more word.
94 for 7. White over the wicket to Abbott. And Abbott turns this one into the leg side, hopping a touch there with Sean Abbott. Adam Lyde gets a hand to it, rolls away into the leg side. So if you're just joining us this morning, Surrey have already lost a couple of wickets. Dom Sibly, very well caught by Harry Brook. That second slip off Jai Richardson for 34, and Josh Blake in this over. LBW to White. Sure, Brook will want another bowl at some point. I don't think he'll get one, but I'm sure he wants one. As White is over the wicket, and forward goes Abbott. It's great work in the slip cordon. Hill again there, diving away to his right, getting a hand to it off a thick outside edge. So good over from White, the wicket of Josh Blake. And Surrey 94 for 7, following on Steel Trail Yorkshire by 188.
Yorkshire have beaten Surrey by an innings, Churchy, on 26 previous occasions, but only once since 1977.
Ooh.
And that was 10 years ago, here.
I was here for that. Can't remember any of it.
We do tend to banish these things from memory. 94 for 7 as Richardson bowls, and Jordan Clark gets very solidly in behind that.
I can't remember what happened last week. So, let alone this week or 10 years ago. So that would be 2016. Even I can work that one out.
Yeah, there've only been 3 wins by an innings for Yorkshire against Surrey since the 1968 Championship win, when they won it by an innings at the Oval. But Bradford, Sheffield and Headingley have been the 3 venues since then, 74, 77 and 2016. Not done yet. 188 runs, though, is a fair gap to bridge with your last 3 wickets, as that is turned into the leg side by a slightly jumpy Jordan Clark.
Well, Yorkshire, as you said, would have had their huddle this morning and said, if we can get Sibly early, then we're in amongst it. But it's just been good bowling from White and Richardson. And with both dismissals, I'm not quite sure, again, what Blake could have done there. It was just early in the morning, nipping back, hitting his front pad.
Yeah, here comes Richardson again, short. Clark draws back out of the way of it, through to Bairstow. Yeah, back to those issues that we talked about earlier in the match for Yorkshire so far this season. Not enough first inning runs, very clearly. But when their first innings has come up, it's often been the second innings of the match, and the bowlers have therefore not been getting that much rest. It just shows you, it really does. Good performance with the bat, what it can do throughout the side. Richardson is in and bowling, and that's wide of off. So was that a chance?
No, I think he's just smashed it into the ground and up again.
Wow, that travelled to Ben Cliff. Well stopped, sir.
Well, Jordan Clark and Adam Lyth haven't stopped chatting since Clark got out there. I think they're discussing that shot. Absolutely hammered that at cover point. Well, I think, look, what were they? Yorkshire 121 for 4?
Yeah. Here comes Richardson again. And again, Clark pulling away from playing a delivery that was a bit slower and wider of off stump. I think, you know, as I said, Jai Richardson was a little bit kind of all over the shop in his first couple of games. And it just shows you the difference. George Hill and Jack White have been bowling well. Don Bess, as I've said numerous times, has started the season well. They've been the 3 main backup bowlers. Logan van Beek's not bowled as well as he can. Jai Richardson certainly hasn't, but it just shows it. Another person bowling well and keeping it tight and giving some control to the captain. And he's looked a threat in this game, whereas maybe he hasn't done so much in the other matches. Good delivery, full. Clark clatters it against his pad to complete the over. And so this, you know, he might not have destroyed the opposition with 6 and 7 for Churchy, but he's looked a threat with the ball in his hand this time. And that just, I mean, you're blessed that you go round year after year watching good teams play for Surrey, where you've always got somebody else coming in. The number of players not playing in this game, that could, easily have an effect on it. I'm thinking Tom Laws, he's not around, just people like that. And if you've got 4 bowlers firing, it just makes so much of a difference rather than 3. You've got 5, even better.
Absolutely. And he's bowled quick here as well, Richardson. So even if he's not picking up wickets, he's keeping everybody honest. He really is. Now, they've got 2 leg slips for Sean Abbott. He's got a fair amount of company here, as White is over the wicket to him, and Abbott's forward, playing this one out into the offside, and there's no run. So yes, 121 for 4. It happens. Lyth gets dropped on 31, and then a 246-run partnership with Johnny Bairstow. Whole game changes there. Whole game changes, and then Surrey didn't have a great day with the bat yesterday, obviously. 15 wickets, and that's a bit of an understatement. But it's these little moments that can cost you. But Surrey will put their hands up and just say, we haven't been at the races in this game for whatever reason. And it can happen as White's in, or that's hitting the pad and just popping up with Lyth lurking in there at short leg. It can happen. You can have an off game.
Yeah, look at last week for Yorkshire.
Well,
following the week before.
Yeah, absolutely. And Surrey haven't lost that many in recent years. But what surprised me with this is, they've only won the 1 game. I thought they were going to be a tough nut to crack, though. But Yorkshire have done it, and fair play to them. As Abbott waits again, and he's forward, turning this one up towards mid-on. But, as we were saying this morning, if you make sure you're still out there, if there is any weather about, it's not over just yet, but those 2 wickets this morning have made it even harder. especially the Sibly wicket.
Yep.
Even harder because Abbott and Clark, they're gritty, they're both terrific cricketers, but their natural game is to sort of attack. We saw Abbott yesterday, so that's their natural game. White is over the wicket to Abbott. Abbott's forward, turning this one up towards mid-on, and there is no run. 94 for 7. Following on Surrey, still trail by the small matter of 188 runs. Elsewhere in Division 1. Well, Essex beat Leicestershire yesterday, didn't they? And that all happened very, very quickly. Leicestershire all out for 60. And then there was a bit of a wobble from Essex, but then they got there quite easily and won by 7 wickets in the end. It was Allison and Critchley. As in over the wicket goes White, and Abbott's up on his toes, turning this one into the leg side, and there's no run. Hampshire are 92 for 5 against Nottinghamshire. So they lead Nottinghamshire by 77. Sussex following on against Somerset, 8 without loss. Last day of all of these, of course. Glamorgan 210 for 6, lead Warwickshire by 318. In Division 2, they haven't got going yet, Gloucestershire and Northamptonshire. Bit of rain about, I think, as over the wicket goes White to Abbott. Abbott's forward, plays it back up the pitch, and there's no run. So Northamptonshire require another 105. 249 is their target when they get out there, and they're 144 for 5. Kent and Durham at Beckenham could be a very... Oh, could it be a long day? I don't know. Durham 184 for 6 in reply to Kent's 5-2-3. So if Kent can knock Durham over, well, this morning, by lunchtime, and forced to follow on, you never know. But you don't get many positive results at Beckenham in Championship cricket because it's a very good pitch to bat on.
Richardson to continue at the Coastal Lane end then. 35th over of this Surrey second innings, and he's in and bowling now. Ooh, good delivery, which nips away from Jordan Clark, who was anchored at the crease on account of the length that Jai bowled at him. 1 for 30, Jai Richardson into his 11th over now. Sky-wise, it's fairly similar to when we started the day. The floodlights are on. It's still grey and leaden mostly overhead, but there are some white fluffy clouds around, and there is a pocket of blue sky away over the western terrace, so much so that we can see a vapour trail in the distance. Love that. Oh, good delivery by Richardson again. Wow. And Clark's dropped the bat.
Well, it's knocked it out of his hands,
as a result of that.
I think that's hit the bat so hard that it's actually knocked the bat out of Jordan Clark's hands. Yeah, it has. It's good pace that for Richardson, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just nipped back on him, hasn't it? Caught it towards the inside half of the bat, and sort of twisted it out of his hand. So he's got the feeling that something might be about to happen here. Richardson bowls again, good delivery, and
good luck.
leaving
all
Jordan
the very
Clark
best. Adam Lythe's up again. Clark's grinning away at Richardson. Here comes Lythe. Now he's going to have a forensic look at that spot, as is Abbott, as is Clark.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm glad I got my runs the other day. I'm so glad I got my runs the other day. It's one of those, isn't it? Fancy
Bess is enjoying it at leg slip. Jordan Clark just was grinning at Richardson after that.
He waits again, and then comes Richardson once more. And well played, Jordan Clark. Again, he's bowling a really good length there, Jai Richardson. Jordan Clark is not able to get particularly far forward at all. He'll be thankful that he's not got a nick on one or two of these. And the straighter ones he is able to master just about.
This is lovely stuff from Richardson. It's quick, he's hitting the pitch.
And he comes again then. Past umpire Middlebrook, bowls this now. It's shortest delivery of the over, and Clark plays it well, back foot. Let's just run it into a gap between the cordon and point, picks up a single.
Lancashire have declared at 281 for 8. So they lead by 11 against Worcestershire. So there were 1 innings each so far. So trying to make something happen in that game. And Middlesex are 300 for 8 against Derbyshire in their second innings, meaning they lead by 101.
So there could be some declaration bowling in that Lancashire game just to set something up for the
Could be.
final session.
You don't
maybe.
see that very often
No,
anymore,
not
do you?
really, no.
No.
Richardson for the final ball of the over. That is left by Abbott. They put in a fly slip, really, haven't they, there for that delivery? But he didn't oblige with the short ball that he might have fended in that general direction. 95 for 7 come the end of the over. I know Kevin Sharp will be listening at this point. Sharpie always tuned in if he's not on air with us, and he'll be bristling at the fact that during his day he was often used as the declaration bowler for Yorkshire, and that's the sole reason why his bowling figures are.
Yes, I remember watching the late great Graham Thorpe and Ian Ward. I think it was at Grace Road, bowling from the coil position. They didn't even run in, they just lobbed it. And that was tried to set something up. So it's going to be, but you don't really see it anymore. It's going to be White. I will make way after this over for Dave Townsend. Mainly because it's like having a looming presence over my shoulder.
Yeah, marking your homework.
Yeah. In over the wicket comes White. And, oh, good luck. Again, Jordan Clark. You're not doing anything with that. That is just unplayable from White. It really is. And all you think if you're Jordan Clark was, well, I didn't nick it. But you're not playing that. It's just too good. It's too good. It's done too much, that. And Jordan Clark again is sort of just walking down the pitch looking at White.
Body language is, oh, okay, right. You wasted that one.
Settles over his bat once more. He's over the wicket to him, and he's forward. Just pushes this one out into the offside. And of course, in these situations as well, runs don't tend to flow. You've got catches all round the bat.
Got an immediate response from Kevin Sharp as well, saying, I'll convince you one day. I think, convince me what? That you could bowl?
It's not an easy job, that, is it, really? Turns again. In the distance does White. Still got the 2 leg slips in there. As over the wicket he comes to Jordan Clark. Clark is forward. Playing this one back up the pitch. And there is no run. So Jordan Clark, he's obviously a very gritty customer. But this is hard work this morning. To say that first delivery was just too good. I don't know who's nicking that. White turns again in the distance. Here he comes. Over the wicket to Jordan Clark. And Clark's bowled, all ends up. It's good bowling. That one hasn't got up as much as he expected, but it's knocked it off stump out the ground. And it's good bowling from White, it really is. And again, for Jordan Clark, it's just good bowling. And it's a cracking length. He's had a ball that's nipped away. That one's just, it's gone past the outside edge and knocked it off stump out the ground. So terrific stuff from White. And this is all happening very, very quickly here at Headingley in Surrey. 95 for 8. And Jordan Clark goes for 3.
Yeah, good delivery by Jack. As you say, it probably didn't bounce as much as Jordan Clark thought it would. He was sort of jabbing down on it as it went past, but job done by Jack, who's got in on the act today. 1 wicket yesterday, now 3 in total.
I'm going to make way because Dave Townsend seems to be producing now as well. He's just tapped me on the shoulder and made the "you get off, I get on."
Oh, okay.
Rolling motion. So Producer Townsend.
The amount of, multi-talent.
Yeah, I'm not sure
multi-talent.
about multi. I think we're still trying to find one of the talents. But if you keep having a go at something and many things, one day you'll trip over and find you're talented. You in your seat all right there, David?
Churchy, okay. So, Matthew Fisher, well, when things were going well with the ball the other day, probably hadn't imagined that he might be walking out on the final morning, just after 11:30, with his team staring down the barrel. To throw in another sporting cliche. Trailing by 187 runs, and with just 2 second innings wickets in hand.
Extraordinary, isn't it, how this game has developed since yesterday morning. I think we all turned up here yesterday after Yorkshire had scored all those runs in their first innings and thought, we were expecting Surrey to bat through their first innings probably to lunchtime today, and Yorkshire have a bit of bat in the afternoon and a quiet old draw, and they bowled well. And there's certainly been help this morning. Definitely a bowling morning this morning, and one or two unplayable deliveries yesterday. Certainly Rory Burns muttering about his bad luck. And just a couple of injudicious shots as well. But Jack White to be looking to finish this off against Matt Fisher. Comes in, bowls, and Fisher plays that back to him. And there's no run to be had there, so just the 1 wicket plus Dan Worrell in the hutch for Surrey. One of the great number 11s on the county circuit. Remember last year, Churchy informed us he doesn't take guard when he goes out. We'll have to watch for that later. Number 11. He's got his pads on, no doubt, expecting. But for lunch, Fisher bowls. And big shout for LBW, but that was looked to be going down, didn't it? They all went up for that. Full pitch ball on the middle of leg, really. Probably just missing leg stump.
Yeah.
And applause there for the end of Jack White's over.
Yeah, 9 overs,
3
3
wickets for him. Yeah.
3 for 24. Standard, really, isn't it, for Jack White? He's been so good and so consistent. Jai Richardson, well, he'd love to finish things off in his final game with a couple of wickets. He's going to get a continued opportunity out this Kirkstall Lane end of the ground.
Yeah, only 1 wicket so far, but it was the important one, wasn't it, over Dom Sibly, because if anybody was going to bat through these conditions for a long time, it was going to be the Surrey opener. That was the big one.
A bit brighter at the moment, that pocket of blue sky is developing overhead, and Richardson bowls. Now, but taking the bottom hand off the bat, plays that out into the offside, and there is no run. Martin Bloomfield says, poor Dom, the unfortunate Dominic Sibly was treated by Yorkshire quite glibly. They laughed off their socks when he got hit in the box like Jim Trott in The Vicar of Dibley. No, no, yes, no, was the cry as the ball hit him just under the thigh. Not again, he retorted, as his strides he resorted. The bowler was Richardson Jai. He likes a good limerick, good verse. Martin, thanks for that. As Richardson is in and bowling again, and that's angled away down to third man by Sean Abbott, fielded by Ben Cliff. 1 run. Sally McCombs has mailed in as well. Excellent work by Yorkshire this week. Good to see Lyth and Richardson do well after some of their performances earlier this season. I was at Headingley on Friday, but certainly didn't expect this after Joe Root and Harry Brook fell in quick succession after lunch. I think I may now have seen my last county championship for the season, unless I go up to Scarborough next month.
All go up to Scarborough. Should always go up to Scarborough.
Thanks, Sally.
First fixture I look for in there. And they come out in November,
I obviously wouldn't want to remind Sally about her email asking if Adam Lyth should be dropping down the batting order a couple of weeks or so ago, whatever it was. Good delivery from Richardson as that's turned backward of square by Matthew Fisher for a single.
You're too nice a bloke to mention that.
No, I wouldn't have
Roy.
mentioned that at all, no. But she did go fairly early on that one.
Just did 3 Surrey batsmen this morning.
How many did he get in this match? Sorry, I can't remember now. Oh, 141. 96 for 8. Tom firmly in cheek, Sally. As
You were bad,
Richardson turns and makes his way in again. And that is solidly blocked by Fisher. Good morning as well, for the first time, I think, to Ron Flynn. He was watching, listening, whatever. I've had notification thereof, so hello to you. Good to have you on board. Yorkie and Yorkshire playing well. 4 slips, leg slip. Shortish third man, maybe for a ramp, top edge, something like that. Richardson bowls again, and nicely played by Abbott, who's going to pick up 4 runs here, out backward of point. Ben Cliff was at short third man and gave decent chase on that, but couldn't quite manage to get that.
And at least Surrey have scrambled into 3 figures, 101 for 8.
Morning to Lily as well, who says morning to my 3 favourite commentators, Jonathan, Mark and DT. Fantastic start by Yorkshire. Jai Richardson really bowling really well. Watching the stream as I pack for my holiday to Crete.
Oh. Lily and Crete.
Really is brightening up now as Richardson comes into bowl, and Abbott with played open face push backward of point, and they'll get through for a single to complete over number 37 at 101 for 8. Partnership so far with a half dozen since the most recent wicket. And just to recap on the morning so far, well, Dom Sibly was dropped on 33 by Don Bess at leg slip off Jack White on what was the 4th ball of the day, having seen Jai Richardson complete 2 balls from yesterday, sorry, 2 balls in an over from yesterday. Dom Sibly then caught by Brook, sharp catch as well off Jai Richardson for 34 in the following over. And we then had Josh Blake LBW to Jack White for 19, and Jordan Clark, who had a bit of a perilous time out there, was bowled by White for 3, 95 for 8 at that stage. They've added 6 runs since.
So here's Jack White into bowl to Fisher, and Fisher forward defensive, pushing it back past him. What did you make of the Blake LBW? I thought it was it didn't look 100%, did it? I mean, not a bad decision. Probably, certainly hitting the stumps. Umpire's call perhaps on whether it struck him in line just outside off. But given that Michael Goff has been so strict in this game, White bowls, and Fisher plays that down into his crease. He wasn't quite sure where it was for a minute, and short leg comes in to pick the ball up.
I thought it was okay, gotta say.
Yeah, but compared with 1 or 2 that he hasn't given in this game, there was a very small element of doubt about it, I thought myself. There you go. By attacking the field, as you'd expect, 3 slips, a leg slip, a leg gully, a forward short leg. 3 men out saving 1, mid on, mid off, and a backward point as White bowls, and Fisher covers up. Plays that to the mid off.
I'm surprised your eyesight was that good. Normally you need binoculars to see the rest of us in the com box, let alone out in the middle.
I was going from the TV replay pictures as well. I thought, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticising Michael Goff, but there have been a couple of LBWs that have looked absolutely Harry Plumbers, but that one was, I'm afraid, element of doubt, and White bowls there. Fisher edges that one down towards third man. He's going to get 2 runs, just short of third slip, and 2 more to the former Yorkshire bowler. Would this be the first time he's come back to Headingley? Certainly for a first-class game, because it's...
Harry. Who are we talking about? Sorry, you lost me in that.
Fisher.
Oh, Matthew Fisher, sorry.
Because last year it was Scarborough, wasn't it? So
Yes, first time at Headingley since he moved to Surrey. Yeah.
since his move. White. Bowls, and that's the outside edge. That could so easily have just taken a splinter or two and been the 9th wicket. It's one of those mornings where almost every delivery you're expecting something to happen, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just a little one on their toes. But a good game of cricket is. One-sided, admittedly, but here's White bowls and Fisher pushes that past lie that short leg, not past mid-on though, so no run. End of another probing over from Jack White.
Jai Richardson is continuing. He's had a fairly lengthy old morning spell, 45 minutes or so far. What have we played last night when they went off? 28.4 overs, so yeah, about 5 overs or so. As I mentioned, he had to finish those 2 balls from that overhanging over.
He probably thinks he deserves more than he's got so far.
Yeah, you'd have said so. He's bowling again here, short, first up, get Sean Abbott on the back foot. He's still got the same setup, 4 slips. Root at first, Brook at second, Hill third, Luxton at 4th, Ben Cliff goes backward at point. Matthew Revis is waiting for the ball to be lobbed to him now. He's at wideish mid-off, come extra cover. Don Bess, leg slip. Matthew Adam Lythe under the helmet at short leg, and Jack White having a breather at mid-on. Richardson in the sunshine now at Headingley, comes in. Ooh, very late playing that one, Matthew Fisher. And it dropped behind him and ran on to Johnny Bairstow.
He's getting a little bit of movement both ways, isn't he? That one coming in and off the seam, and Fisher playing late, which is not a bad thing, but you can be too late sometimes.
Richardson again. Fisher flexes at the knee. Gets the concentration, the eyes sorted out, and pushes this one that leaves him. Another good delivery by Jai Richardson, and Matthew Fisher then plays a leave a couple of times afterwards. Welcome along if you just joined us. 46 minutes into day 4.
What are those strange looking dark things under each of the players? Have you noticed, sort of by their feet? Is it?
Shadows.
I've not seen that. Not seen those for 3 or 4 days. King glimpse.
Here's Richardson again. And, pushed out into the offside by Fisher. Revis fields, no run.
Lovely patch of blue sky now, Dodgy.
Yeah. Matthew Revis fielding, and his brother Dan was a bit of the star for Burley in Wharfdale in the Airedale and Wharfdale League yesterday against the mighty Rawdon. Unfortunately, our boys got knocked out. And I think Dan had a few lives, but well done to him. He got 60-ish, I believe. Saw his team through in the Waddill Cup. Richardson bowls, and Fisher plays it out to Cliff, no run.
Older brother, younger brother?
Matthew Revis, I don't know actually. Matthew Revis and Harry Brooks club, Burley and Wharfdale.
How many did your lad get?
He avoided responding to that one when I spoke to him. So
right.
I'm not sure it was any or not many.
Captain in the side this year, Dodgy.
Yeah. Richardson heading in for the final ball of this 39th over. Bowls it now Fisher solidly in behind it, and there is no run. As I say, welcome along if you're just joining us. Story of the morning, well, Surrey resuming on 83 for 5. Yorkshire would have wanted Dom Sibly early, and despite the fact that he was dropped on 33, he scored just one more run before Harry Brook caught him at slip off Richardson for 34. Josh Blake LBW to Jack White for 19. DT suggesting that wasn't 100% out. In his own mind.
It was 95%. My point was that he'd turned down much more obvious ones, in my opinion.
And then Jordan Clark bowled by White for 3 of the 3 wickets to have fallen.
Jack White then continues, bowls, and that just strikes Abbott on the thigh guard, I would imagine, as he tried to turn that past short leg. Adam Lythe, who is the short leg under the helmet, comes in, ties up, does the fielding. It's been one of those mornings where you expect a wicket with every delivery. Certainly that first 20 minutes or so, very, very difficult for the batsman out there. White bowls and copy ball defensive there from Abbott. So he would have to, well, they'd have to produce an extraordinary resilient performance if they were to get out of this with a draw, and I think they need some help from the weather, and at the moment the weather is set fair, I'd suggest, for the next couple of hours. White bowls and turns Abbott around a bit though. He started to look to play that on the onside, just pushes it up to mid-off. Got a frown on there, Doidgy. You're sort of looking at some stat there that you're trying to work out. If it happens, or probably more likely when it happens, it's an important win for Yorkshire, isn't it? And you say he didn't play well last week. White bowls, and that's a through outside the off stump, who's an R's, and very, very safe leave from Abbott. Come the end of the season, if you can pick up 3 or 4 wins, it's generally enough, isn't it, to see you safe, to see another season in Division 1. Bright sunshine, I think we can say now. White bowls, and late on that one, Abbott, but again defends into the offside. Again, there's no run. So just this 10th wicket pair. Dan Worrell to come as number 11. Remember a great rear guard action here in a test match, I think it was 2014, wasn't it, when England very nearly batted through the final day to save the game against Sri Lanka. Next ball is defended backward, a point they're going to get a run. There was Will Luxton had to move sharply to his left. So 1 run. That test match had a brilliant final hour, I think, from memory. Moeen Ali and Jimmy Anderson. Last wicket pair at the crease. I think Moeen just got to his 100. Final over, 2 deliveries left. Anderson popped one up. Popped up a catch, and Sri Lanka won. So 2 deliveries away from a famous draw that would have been for England, but didn't quite get there.
Richardson, 105 for 8, coming in from the Kirkstall Lane end. Short of length and helped on its way backward of square leg. be 4 runs to Sean Abbott. Didn't appear to play it wholly confidently first time, but on seeing it again, to be fair, he dealt with that pretty well. He kept his eye on the ball as long as he possibly could. He just didn't have the sort of normal shape that you see to that shot. It was all right. There's nobody down there, and he's picked up a boundary. 109 for 8, 173 runs behind Yorkshire's first innings total. And then he's dropped out into the offside. And Abbott will, with a bit of support from Matthew Fisher, get through for a single. Matthew Revis in to do the fielding, and Adam Lyth backing up with his foot. Not always advisable, depending upon how hard the ball is thrown. Yeah, I mean, what it would mean if they do see this through, I mean, if they don't see it through, then obviously that would mean, you know, that there'd be great disappointment that with 80-odd overs to go, they haven't managed to take 2 wickets. They had that feel about that match at Chelmsford last year where they couldn't see it through and take the final wicket. Richardson bowls. Fisher defends to Revis, no run.
Certainly easier for batting now, isn't it?
If they did see it through, when you go back through the matches so far, you know, the defeat here by Hampshire, that will stick in the craw given where Hampshire are. But then to go to Taunton and win, first time in my tenure as commentator in any match, that was a big win. You know, they fought hard for that and battled through. Fisher waits and Richardson bowls, and that's turned back with a square leg. He's going to get 4 for this. Don Bess is giving vain chase. So Fisher on to 5, 114 for 8. You know, from the peak of that to the trough of last week, which was the worst performance of the campaign, and then this. It's a very strange season so far in that respect, but I think what you can say is that you know that they've shown their capabilities, and so nobody could afford to take them lightly, even if they were of a mind to do so. Richardson is in and bowling, and Fisher blocks. But it also reinforces for me that at this level in Division 1, it doesn't matter who you turn up with, what star names you've got on your side, you have to play well. And if you're off your game by not that much, and you have 2 poor sessions back to back, you usually end up in pretty big trouble in a Division 1 county championship match.
Yeah. And also, say, rubber the green comes into it as well, doesn't it? Surrey certainly haven't had that in this game.
Final ball of Richardson's over to Fisher, who defends out into the offside for Revis once again to field. 41 overs now complete. Abbott 18, Fisher on 5. Those 3 wickets of Sibly, Blake and Clark falling this morning. 1 to Richardson and 2 to White. 114 for 8. Surrey trail by 168 runs, and Yorkshire, if needed, would be able to go and bat again.
And it looks as though we're going to see the first bowling change of the morning with George Hill coming on.
From the Howard stand end, George Hill.
The Howard stand end. We call it the Howard stand end. We call it the football stand end. It used to be the football stand end.
It did.
Yeah. Sure, everybody listening knows that that stand is a sort of double-sided stand, and the rugby league ground is the far side, but there's always someone who doesn't know. So first ball from Hill is just pushed down to short leg, no run. Did we find out why he went off and didn't complete the over yesterday?
No. The rugby league side had a bad day at the office, didn't they, the other night? They lost 24-4 at Wigan on Friday.
Yeah. How are they going this year?
Well, they were top of the table. Not sure if they still are after that.
Here's Hill bowling, slightly angled approach, and that's just eased down the gap between third slip and gully for a single. So that moves Abbott on to 19.
Now they've been replaced by St Helens at the top of the table.
Is
Which is not
Fisher
altogether
taking
bad
guard
news.
again?
It's not altogether bad news.
Is it not?
Because you're independent correspondent.
Next, pushed up to mid-off.
Had to give a tip for the
There's
title
no
at the start
run.
of the season, and he came up with St Helens.
You came up with St Helens. Oh, very good. But so why would they ask the racing correspondent for a tip for the rugby league?
I also write cricket for them, you know, and occasionally other sports, and I was asked to do a Super League preview.
How are your tips going at the moment? Having a good flat season. Hill bowls and another dropped catch at leg slip. Well, that's the second one we've seen go down this morning. And Don Bessie got both hands to it, diving to his left. They're not easy, you know, the ball comes quickly, but he's got to it, he's got both hands to it, and down it's gone, and, well, a life there for Abbott. Big, well, ripple of applause somewhere, go on.
Fisher.
In comes Hill Bowles, pushed up to mid-on. Did they not take a single?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question.
No, they didn't, because Abbott's still on 19, isn't he? So, yes, it was Fisher with that little flick round the corner. I mean, it's a proper leg glance going quickly, but that's twice Bess has got his hands on them, and twice he spilt them this morning. Third time lucky, Hill bowls, and Fisher defends. No run, and Hill's over.
If you want to stand for a moment, Churchy can come and replace you, and we'll have a commentary box exercise. Jack White's just leaving the field. Bradley Sylvester, he's coming on to field in his place, and there's going to be a change of bowling at the Kirkstall Lane end to greet Mark Church, because Matthew Revis is coming on.
He certainly is, and he bowled very nicely yesterday. Yeah, they're tough in there at leg slip. And that was a genuine glance off the bat, and it flew to Bess. And he couldn't hang on. So, Matthew Revis into the attack here on Sports Extra, with Surrey 115 for 8. Still trailing by an awful lot of runs, Dave Townsend. Good morning, afternoon to
Good
you.
morning. Well, it's far better for me to point this out, but I've actually done Surrey a favour. They haven't lost a wicket since I've been.
Well, that's you're all heart, you, aren't you? You're all charity, you are. It's going to be Revis then, coming in over the wicket from the Kirkstall Lane end, and forward goes Abbott. Plays this one out into the offside, rolls out there towards cover, and there is no run.
Conditions have been a lot easier, haven't they, in the last half hour or so, that first 20 minutes.
Horrible.
Yes.
Floodlights on, dark, gloomy, Richardson bowling rockets, White bowling beautifully, not easy. As forward goes Abbott once again to Revis, plays this one back up the pitch, and there's no run.
The occasional delivery now is still, there's help there for the bowlers, but it's a little bit calmer. Calmer waters.
Calmer waters. Always is with you at the helm. Turns again, down below us does Revis. Comes in over the wicket to Abbott, and Abbott's forward, clips this one firmly up the ground. And there's no run once again, so 4 slips, leg slip, short leg, backward point, mid-off, mid-on. And a bit of sunshine as well, watery sunshine. Bit of blue sky about the place now.
Some more dark clouds sort of following in.
Well, I think it's going to be like that all day, isn't it? It's going to be like this all day today. As Revis is in, and whoa, good luck. Has he got an edge on that? They've all gone up behind the stumps. No. Umpire Middlebrook keeps his hands to his side, but that really did take off again from Revis. And Johnny Bairstow is taking that up above his shoulders. I think it brushed his jumper.
Yeah.
I think it brushed the jumper, yeah. Just brushed Sean Abbott's jumper on the way through. Good decision that from umpire Middlebrook. And you see it again on the replay. You can see that jumper bulge when the ball hits it. As Revis is in and Abbott's forward. Clips this one firmly up towards mid-on, and there's no run.
You say good decision, and it was a good decision, but it was also a logical decision, because with the ball coming in, beating the inside of the bat, Bairstow's taken it going to his right, so it's very difficult to see how the bat was involved, unless there was a tiny little splinter into his jumper, which there wasn't.
If it'd been new batting, it'd have been a big jumper. As in over the wicket once again, goes Revis, forward, goes Abbott. Plays this one down towards backward point, and there's no run. Good over from Revis, his first, and 115 for 8, sorry.
Yeah, it's we were saying on commentary just now, it's a question of when rather than if, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah.
If they get to the middle of the afternoon, you might start saying, well, yeah, will this be the impossible recovery or the impossible save of a match? Those of you watching the stream, you'll see the clouds there in the distance. But they don't look like clouds that are going to hold play up for a long time. Who knows? Famous last words. George Hill bowls, and that's driven up to mid-off. No run. Hill, who probably should have had a wicket in his last over when Fisher glanced to leg slip.
Yeah, they are always tough at leg slip. A, you see it late, and B, it comes to you very, very quickly.
Got both hands to it, though. Here's Hill again. Bowls, and that one's clipped past short leg. Adam Lyth making an effort to stop it, doesn't. Mid-on comes round, completes the fielding. One more to Fisher. He moves to 6, 116 now for 8.
Well, Abbott's been out there for 52 minutes. Fisher's been out there for 33 minutes. If that gets up to sort of 180 minutes, then Yorkshire might start getting a bit twitchy.
It is Hill bowls again, and that's defended back with a point and no run. Yes, they might, but then they would be looking at the thinking, another 5 overs to the new ball or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Look.
Things
happen in cricket. It's a funny old game.
Talking about that rear guard action here against Sri Lanka, which was a wonderful end to a test match. Hill bowls, and that bounces a little bit. Played well by Abbott defensively. And of course, you saw a great draw, didn't you, when Mr. Amler was
one of my
blocked everything all day.
One of my favourite days ever. Didn't play a shot all day, and when he did, he didn't really want to. Magnificent effort that was.
Hill, slightly angled approach bowls, and pushed into the offside, no run. It's not quite the sort of dog leg of a Bob Willis run to the wicket, is it? But he sort of goes out and then comes back in just ever so slightly.
Well, he's impressive, this young man. He really is.
He's at you all the time,
yeah,
isn't
he
he?
is.
Not the worst bat either. Here he comes, bowls, and beats the outside edge there. Might have pretended he was playing the line, but I think he was beaten.
Yeah, nice bowling again. He's played at that. He's going to remove his long sleeve sweater now. Sean Abbott. Because the sun's come out and he's been out there nearly an hour.
That's getting a bit cocky, isn't it?
Well, he's
planning
bedding in for the afternoon.
Planning to stay for a while.
Yeah. So Revis wants something brought out.
Short sleeves as well, look.
They're bringing out another helmet. Looks like there may have been sunglasses there for umpire Middlebrook.
He wouldn't, I tell you, he wouldn't have played too much in these sort of temperatures in New South Wales. Tasmania, perhaps. Tasmania gets a bit nippy down there at times.
Well, it's meant to be warming up this week, isn't it? I think it's going to be positively balmy by about Friday. As over the wicket goes Revis. And, this is chipped back past him by Fisher. Stuck out a right hand. He's going to run away to the boundary rope for 4. So Revis stuck out a big hand, but it was past him. And Fisher picks up a boundary. He's on to 10. 120 for 8, Surrey.
Well, useful little stun lesson. It'll be frustrating for the Yorkshire supporters that have turned up, dotted around the ground.
Yeah, it's been well attended, this game, especially over the weekend. Revis is in, and Fisher clips this firmly. White eventually does the fielding. Up there at mid-on, and there is no run.
It's fielded like a fast bowler, wasn't it?
At the end of a game. He just wants to go in and have a lie down.
Well, a nice hot bath, I would imagine.
Nice hot bath. Need that today. Chilly. Here is Revis once more. Over the wicket and forward. Solidly goes Fisher. Plays this one up to Jai Richardson. Stood up there at mid-off.
That was Surrey and Botham's sort of morning warm-up routine at the end of his career. Well, everybody else was out on the field knocking up catches, but he had a just
luxuriating, nice hot bath. Lovely. As Revis is in. That's hit Fisher on the back. He's trying to get inside that.
I think it actually hit the. Did it just
hit
clip
the
his
back
helmet?
of the helmet? Well, physio will be out here again. He was trying to get inside that, Matt Fisher. It was a quick delivery from Revis. And Sean Abbott's just come and given him a pat on the back. But I think, it's hit just on the side of the helmet. I thought it was on his back, but it is just on the side of that crash helmet. So out comes Paul Steele, who had all of this with Gus Atkinson last week at Trent Bridge. And they'll take their time over this. But I think it's hit his back and gone up. And then hit the back of the crash helmet. So Steele just checking the helmet.
Did it hit the back first?
No, it didn't hit. It hit his back.
Sorry.
Hit his back and went up. So Paul Steele will be going through a number of questions here that they do them at the start of the season, and then they sort of have to have the same answers now. But Paul Steele did a very good job with Gus Atkinson last week.
Is it to sort of do you know where you are and that sort of thing?
I don't know what the questions actually are, but they sort of have to be in the basic vicinity of what they were when you first answered them, and then they'll just keep an eye on Matt Fisher.
Well, it's actually a sort of recall from earlier in the season.
Yes. So and Paul Steele is making sure that helmet is okay. But he tried to get out the way of it, and it just kept following him. See it again here. He's trying to duck that, and it just got big on him. And straight away, umpire Middlebrook, it's gone bonk straight on the top of the crash helmet when you see it from that angle. So, nasty one that for Matt Fisher. I think Reece Topley's out there, but he's running back now. It may be that they need to get another helmet out here for Matt Fisher.
Isn't that a part of the regulations anyway? The helmet has to be changed.
Yeah.
Or is that just internationals?
I think last week with Atkinson's, his didn't get changed. I don't think. Paul Steele's taking it apart now, the helmet. There are bits of that helmet being taken out now by Paul Steele. But, yes, you can, of course, get another one out there for him. Paul Steele's got lots of bits and pieces in his bag, you see.
Amazing, isn't it, when you think how many years? Well, when you would have started watching, certainly when I started watching, they faced the quickest of bowling with no helmets.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think back now, amazing, really.
I remember discussing this with Clive Radley, the old Middlesex player, who famously got hit down in Australia, didn't he? Ended his England career. Rodney Hogg used to like to lunge forward and got one in the middle of the forehead, talking about helmets. And he rather reluctantly took to wearing a helmet. I mean, that game, I think it was against South Australia, and he sort of lunged forward, got cracked on the helmet, and blood everywhere, and he's carried off. He's come back and played, had a second innings in that, which again wouldn't happen these days. But I remember talking to him about helmets and his view on them, and he said, I've been hit on the head 5 times when I've been batting. Twice without a helmet, 3 times with a helmet, and I can tell you which one hurts the most.
Well, you do think, and then Sunil Gavaskar, he had that white sort of skull cap type thing, didn't he? And then
Brearley
was like in a motorbike helmet.
Well, he had a sort of little temple protectors, didn't he, under his cap in those days, and everybody, I mean, he was sort of greeted with derision. Well, God, why on earth would you do that?
Well, they do everything right now, and Paul Steele will be in no rush here just to get this helmet. I think it's got all the inner protection as well, and I wonder if a bit of that's come off, so he's just got some more out there. And the other thing is, of course, it's sort of players have their helmet that they like to wear, so if you do change the helmet, you've got to find one sort of the same size that fits properly. But anyway, he's okay, Matt Fisher, which is the most important thing. And he now has another helmet brought out by Reece Topley.
You got a helmet?
I used to wear a helmet.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, throughout your career? Or
No,
latter
career.
Club cricketers have careers as well, you know.
When I was little, though, no helmets whatsoever. And and you didn't really see them very often. But now, of course, quite rightly, everybody wears them. So yeah, there's still some running repairs being done to this crash helmet of Matt Fisher.
I assume he's going to carry on, is he? Would
Would
it be worth going off
okay.
for 10 minutes?
No, I think this is more about the helmet than now. Paul Steele's going to speak to both umpires. This is exactly what he did with Gus Atkinson, and he's probably going to say just keep an eye on him. But they're still doing running repairs to this crash helmet. Paul Steele's gone into his bag and got his scissors out.
You ever been hit on the head with it? I mean,
no, I haven't. I was saying that. No. I was saying though, and I played a game of rugby once where I got smashed early in the game, and then I was convinced we played the entire game with it snowing. I was absolutely convinced it had snowed for the entire game.
The only time I got hit on the head was that the ball has actually gone through to the wicket keeper. The wicket keeper's gone to throw it back to the bowler, and I've just stepped in the way of it. And
well done, David.
On my nose.
Well done, David.
Everywhere.
Well done, David.
Whatever.
Doesn't surprise me. Well, Fisher's okay. That's the most important thing here. They will keep an eye on him. So both the umpires will keep a little eye on Matt Fisher. Good running repairs there by Paul Steele to the crash helmet. But Fisher's still getting himself ready there. So longish delay there. But in those situations you take as long as you want, really. Although if we got to 5 o'clock, Yorkshire might have got a little concerned. So Matt Fisher is okay to continue, and he will settle himself down over his bat once again. Revis is over the wicket to him, and Fisher gets in behind this, plays it back up the pitch, and there is no run as he wanders off towards square leg.
Revis targeting the stumps there. Would you give him another short one?
Yeah, well, that's one way of going about it, isn't it?
You've got short leg in there, haven't you? And it's sort of like...
He might do again. How many balls has he got in this over? 1 to go for Revis in this over. In he comes once again. He's a big, strong boy. Outside edge gone. Caught by Joe Root at first slip. Really good bowling from Revis. And Fisher's annoyed with himself, but he's just been clonked on the crash helmet. And Revis went full of length. He's just pushed at it. Good catch from Joe Root at first slip. And Matt Fisher goes for 10. And Surrey are 9 down, but that's good bowling from Revis. Just clonked him on the crash helmet. And then 2 balls later just goes full of length, just as a push at it. And Joe Root taking that in front of his face. And you can see the disappointment in Fisher's body language there when he sees Root take that. But Surrey now 9 down, 120 for 9.
Yeah, it was a sort of sucker punch in a way, wasn't it? It was the fast half volley length really outside off stump that he knew he was going to have a little fiddle at, and just got the edge and through to Root first slip. He wasn't going to drop that one.
So Dan Worrell, the final Surrey player.
And I will hand over to yourself and Jonathan Deutsch, because for the final knockings we want to see Dan Worrell. You told us last year Dan Worrell doesn't take guard.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He never takes guard.
I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah.
If he gets
on strike, you have a look for that, David.
Yeah.
You keep an eye out for that.
We will.
Something you can take home with you this evening as a memory. Thank you to David Townsend. It's been an absolute joy as always with Mr. Townsend. Thankfully, when he puts the headphones on, he can actually hear what the other person is saying to him, because a lot of conversations at the back of the box, you've ended up sort of talking to yourself with David, because he hasn't really heard a word you've been saying, but magically, as soon as he puts the headphones on, he can hear everything. Maybe you should spend all day wandering around.
Ooh, George Hill bowling to Dan Worrell, I should say. No, Kyle Abbott, in fact. Kyle Abbott, God dear me. See, I've just run upstairs, sorry.
No, we've all done it.
Right.
With the Abbotts.
Sean Abbott is at the striking end, and he's just got an inside edge to Matthew Revis. I think we've pulled it back slightly. So Hill in again, good delivery. There's an appeal from Will Luxton, who thought there was an outside edge to Johnny Bairstow, but not from anybody else.
But it's going to be a very good victory, this, for Yorkshire. They've been well worth it. They really have. OK, Surrey haven't been at their best in this game, but Yorkshire have been very, very good. Especially with the ball, actually. The sort of their 4-man pace attack has been excellent.
Here comes Hill again. This time punched away into the covers. Ben Cliff is giving chase, going to pull that in a few yards from the west side boundary rope. They're back for 2. Abbott on to 21.
Nice for Brook and Root as well, as we're sort of heading into T20 now. Sort of finish off this period of being able to play championship cricket with this.
Yeah, there've been a couple of matches where they've been involved and people have expected great things and they haven't happened. Good delivery from George Hill again, leaves Abbott.
I do like George Hill. I really like George Hill as a cricketer.
He's not for sale.
I'm not bothered about speeds with him, because with that height and the lengths he bowls, got a bit about him, this lad. He really has.
Yeah, he's off the market. Hill making his way in towards us then. To bowl to Abbott again, and that's played out square on the offside. Cliff again doing the fielding.
Well, to be fair to him, why would he want to go anywhere else? You know, he's getting his overs in. He's playing for one of the great counties. He's impressive. He really is impressive. He's got Root and Brooks standing there at slip. We'll be mentioning him to England hierarchy, I'm sure.
Again, and that is Played out to Cliff once more in the offside, and so they've survived a further over. There's still the better part of 40 minutes to go before lunch is scheduled. 1 o'clock, of course, on the final day. Can they survive that long?
Well, it won't be now, will it? Because we're 9 down.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we
keep
could be
going.
going till half
past
one,
yeah.
yeah. Well, that's an hour away. It would be entertaining if we do go for an hour. So here is Worrell. Keep your eyes out, David. Keep your eyes out. Because he won't take guard. Down Worrell. There you go. Just settles himself straight over his bat. This then is in, and Worrell's beaten on the outside edge. It's taken by Johnny Bairstow. From a Surrey point of view, they'll just be very honest and say we haven't been good enough in this game. And yeah, it's a bit of an issue for them now in the fact that with other sides around them winning probably, there'll be a bit of a gap there at the top. As in over the wicket again goes Revis. That's come straight off the toe end of Dan Worrell's bat, looking for the big drive, and it's actually just potted away down towards third man. I say the toe end of his bat, it's somebody else's bat that he's using again. But he's just looking at the bottom of it. Anyway, he gets a single, he's off the mark. 123 for 9. Revis shines the ball up again down below us. He is a big lad, isn't he, Revis? Must be very intimidating when he's running into you, as that one beats the outside edge of Sean Abbott's bat, looking to just push that through the offside. She is, he's a big fella. Revis bowls at good pace. 2 for 26 in this innings as well. Abbott settles himself down over his bat once again. Revis is into him, and Abbott's again just having a little bit of a fiddle with this one, I think. Outside is off stump. That's taken by Bairstow, moving away to his right hand side. Revis is marching back towards us once more. Turns at the top of his mark. There's that big bowling disc for him there. They all use the paint these days, don't they? And sort of put their initials down. And it's like art as this is turned by Abbott. Doesn't really time it. Rolls up towards White at mid-on and there's no run.
He just sort of flicked the bat over his shoulder afterwards as if he wasn't quite happy with how he timed that.
He's batted well in this game. 56 yesterday, 21 here, or 51 deliveries. Sean Abbott. As Revis is in to him, and Abbott lets this one go outside his off stump. End of the over, 123 for 9. Tell you what we should do. Let's bring David Townsend in with you just for a little bit more, because this is his last stint of comms for a little bit of time, and the Yorkshire public, I know, will want to hear from David if this wicket goes down, to get his summarisation, and then I'll come back. But I think if we could get him off the chair, David, it's nearly lunchtime. That's it.
Thanks, Churchy. Okay, so Dan Worrell on strike to face George Hill. 3 slips, a leg slip, leg gully, short leg, and driven at here. This one is passing Jack White at mid-off, and yeah, well, understandably, Jack is not going to go full on in the sprint, because that ball was gathering a bit of momentum and has gone for 4. Colin Cranmer, good morning, good afternoon to you. He says, superb commentary and banter from Churchy, DT and yourself, listening from Guernsey. To keep up to date with the Yorkies, thanks for the insights and entertainment. Our pleasure. To Mark Clayton. And again to Sally. Afternoon as it is now. Just waiting for Jack White to get into position as George Hill's in to bowl, and that's flicked away to leg by Worrell. There is no run. Sally's pulled me on my pronunciation of her surname. I said McCombs. She says Coombs is as in comb. So Sally McCombs. I like a bit of banter. Not only in the com box, but with the emailing public as well. As in comes George Hill, and that's run down to Luxton, coming out of third slip. Miriam in Brighton says, great performance from Yorkshire, working from home, coverage on my second screen. Looking forward to heading to Scarbados next month. Can you say hi to my brother Adam, who's enjoying the coverage in his lovely garden in Sunderland? Well, the fam really is spread, isn't it, Miriam? Yorkshire fan in Brighton with brother in Sunderland. There you go.
Truly global.
And here's Hill again, and Worrell solidly defending that one. Jeff Greenwood says, Matt Fisher. Will you tell Mr. Thompson Matt Fisher has a short-sleeved pullover and Abbott a long-sleeved version? He seems to be mixed up as to which one is which. Yeah, I think, Jeff, you seem to be mixed up with
Mr. Thompson and
commentating.
Mr. Townsend.
Yeah, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Townsend. But I'm sure we'll endeavour to get that right in what remains as Hill is in. Oh, underneath this one, top edgy from Worrell playing across it. They've taken one and are going to stay put. Luxton giving chase. BBC West Yorkshire Sport at gmail.com. So referee and says, afternoon JD, well, what a difference a week makes. How would you sum up this first block of fixtures? Myself, consistently inconsistent, hoping for some decent white ball performances before we return to the red. Here's Hill, and blocked by Abbott. Final ball of that over, 128 for 9.
Just the one wicket to fall then. Half an hour to go. Well, I say half an hour to go to lunch. It's lunch is now a movable feast because, of course, they'll on if these two are still there in half an hour's time, which was probably be a surprise. Dan Worrell not known for hanging around, but he's so far got his head down.
Matthew Revis then to continue at the Kirkstall Lane end. Yorkshire needing just to find the one wicket-taking delivery. And this could be it. No, it's looped away beyond the cordon, and Ben Cliff backward of point, in fact, and has gone for 4 off the edge of Dan Worrell's bat. Good afternoon to Mark Gilliver once again, who's messaged in. Good to see you too the other day. And he says, say hi to Liam. So there you go. So 132 for 9. Worrell on to 10. Surrey still 150 runs behind. Yorkshire, don't forget, have batted just the once. And Revis bowls. And Worrell plays this well enough. Opens the face, runs it out to point once again. We will have more cricket action before the week is out, but this time we'll be turning our attentions, as our message just said, to white ball cricket come Friday, when I'll be down at Trent Bridge to bring you Nottinghamshire versus Yorkshire in the opener. Revis in and bowling. That's lobbed away over mid-on. Jack White is giving chase, but the ball's going to win. 4 runs. Dan Worrell moving his score on to 14, 136 for 9. Yeah, down there, I'm not sure. I presume I'll be doing a separate broadcast with a commentator alongside, but we've got time to work that one out. The Girdler will be around, of course, doing his thing.
I shall be in Derry.
Yorkshire won at Trent Bridge in the T20 last year, which was one of those put it in the diary things, because they don't win there very often. Revis bowls. That's punched away through the covers this time by Dan Worrell, who is going to pick up 2. Are they going to turn it into a third? Yes, they are. Richardson giving chase. 39 for 9. Abbott 21. Worrell 17. Final wicket partnership so far worth 19.
My next assignment, Doidgy, over to the north of to cover the test match between Ireland and New Zealand, which starts Wednesday. Shortly.
Revis to Abbott, who flicks that to White at mid-on, no run. I'm sure that's grand. Clive Parker says, Jonathan, what's happened to you? What happened to our Yorkshire stroke Aussies batter? Injured or back home? Sam Whiteman, question mark. No, he's not back home. He was actually out on the field yesterday doing a few warm-ups and a bit of exercise actually in one of the breaks. So clearly improving now. Oh, good delivery from Revis. Nips back on Abbott and misses everything, including the safe mitts of Johnny Bairstow, and it's run down to fine leg for a bye, as signalled by James Middlebrook.
Oh, one.
That's the final ball of the over.
So Worrell's moved very quickly on to 70. Abbott 21. Making the score look reasonable.
Lily says this is a great win for Yorkshire. They've not actually done it yet, Lily. And she's hoping that Matthew Revis takes the final wicket. Well, you'll be hoping that George Hill doesn't then in this over, because he's got 6 deliveries to try and see the back of one of these two players. At the moment, it's Sean Abbott who's on strike, and he's played that one out square on the offside for Ben Cliff to field. Anthony Darby is enjoying the commentary from Lombok in Indonesia.
No ball that from George is unusual.
Yeah. So 142 for 9. Here he comes again. Shuffling in. Oh, Abbott plays that slightly awkwardly into the deck. Clouds overhead again at the moment. Floodlights are on, but not having much effect. And a fairly sizable area of blue sky away to the west and southwest, which I think is where the cloud is drifting in from. As that moves over, we'll be back in sunshine, you would imagine, if we get that far, as George Hill turns, comes in again past umpire Gough. Bowls now. Abbott has a little flick at it. There's a collective intake of breath around the cordon. Around the bat at the moment. You're not a bit far from the mudding crowd here, DT.
No. Certainly the batters haven't been short of company out there this morning.
Hill to Abbott. Defends solidly. No run. Good afternoon to Matthew Lawrence. And to Andy Walker, says 1 wicket to go. Wonderful performance by Yorkshire. Thanks for the comms. From DT, Mr. Church and Liam. Thanks, Andy. As George Hill turns once again and makes his way in from the Howard stand end to bowl now to Abbott, who plays that one away through the covers. Ben Cliff is chasing, but not going to get there. So another boundary. Leaking a few in the latter stages in a quest for a final wicket here, Yorkshire. This is now a 26-run partnership.
Yeah, risk-free shot, wasn't it? He just lent on it, really, and said the batters haven't been short of company. They've been close catches all around them all morning. 3 slips, a leg slip and a forward short leg at the moment.
Hill to Abbott, who shoulders arms to this delivery. Yeah, so just the league table in front of me. Latest in Division 1 of the County Championship. Some games obviously still to be complete today. Yorkshire third from bottom as it stood, as that's played out into the offside by Abbott to complete. George Hill's over at 146 for 9. I have to ask this question every time. I think I'll remember it every time I get the answer, and then the next game comes around and I still have to ask the same question. The BBC table, running table, or wait till the end of the game table? Wait till the end of the game table for the BBC. Every single time I forget that, because there are other ones out there that you sometimes refer to.
Yes.
that have got running points. So at the moment, Yorkshire 48 points, but there will be 4 batting points, 3 bowling points to add, and we think probably a few more for the win if Matthew Revis perhaps can get this last wicket, and he's bowling here. Down Worrell has angled that into the ground near Will Luxton, and they've got through for a single. And the Yorkshire fielders, just for the moment, are kind of jogging around after the ball. The job is almost done. That just a little bit of urgency. Gone. Revis, ball back in his hand. Bowling then to Abbott, who gets up on his toes and plays that to Jack White at mid-on.
Not looked in any trouble, has he? Yeah, but either innings really. He batted well yesterday.
Surrey 72 points at this moment in time. They of course picked up
2 bowling
two
points.
bowling bonus points. Yeah. Revis bowls. Abbott has to be watchful once again, but jabs down on it. So they've got a 74. As Churchy said, just a bit of a gap opening between them and maybe one or two teams, Nottinghamshire, Warwickshire. Revis back at his mark. Making his way in again past umpire Middlebrook. Bowls it now. That is driven with an open face by Sean Abbott. He's going to pick up 4 through backward point. An hour and 40 minutes of cricket so far this morning. 3 wickets fell in the first 32 minutes of play. Sibly for 34, Blake for 19 and Clark for 3. A couple of drop catches. And then Matthew Fisher, having been struck a fearful blow on the helmet by Matthew Revis after a fairly lengthy stoppage, was caught slipped by Joe Root a couple of balls later. Abbott opens the face and runs it out to Cliff at point. Fisher made 10. Score was 120 at the point he was out, so 31 runs added in the 20-odd minutes or so since then, because most of the shots played have ended up going for 4 once they've got beyond the infield. Don Bess had just been moved from leg slip to 4th slip. Mr. Abbott, final ball of the over, slower one. Oh, full toss and lobbed tantalisingly out of the reach of Jack White at mid-on. There's going to be 4 more on the board, DT.
Yep, so Abbott serenely making his way to the 33. Worrell, who's proper number 11, isn't he? He goes in there and does his bit. Sometimes comes off, sometimes doesn't come off, doesn't bother taking a guard. So he's contributing well to this partnership. He's got 18. Well, I think the way Abbott's batting, certainly Hill will be glad he's bowling here to Worrell.
And he's in now, bowled him! Off stump, out of the ground. Worrell has gone. Surrey have gone in this game. They're all out for 155 second time around. and Yorkshire have beaten Surrey by an innings for the first time in a decade. And those who were suggesting that relegation was a very real threat after last week's disaster down at Edgbaston will have to think again for the moment at least. Worrell bowled by George Hill for 18, 23-minute stay, 13 balls at the crease and 3 fours. And Surrey have been well and truly done, Mark Church.
They have, and well played Yorkshire. Fantastic performance from Yorkshire over the 4 days or 3.5 days. They've been very good with the ball. That's been the outstanding thing, has been the way they've bowled. The big partnership between Lythe and Bairstow, and then their bowlers have backed them up. And yeah, very impressive performance this from Yorkshire. Surrey haven't been at their best. That takes nothing away from Yorkshire, and they'll be very disappointed by this performance, but Yorkshire thoroughly deserve the win. And it's a big win as well. Innings and 126 runs. So a proper win that for Yorkshire. And a very nice way for Yorkshire to go into the T20 campaign from a Surrey perspective. As I say, they won't panic. They'll know they've not been at their best and that they've been well beaten here at Headingley, but well played to Yorkshire. Very, very good performance over the 3.5 days from them.
Yep, not out batsman was Sean Abbott with 33. And the Yorkshire bowling figures, Jai Richardson, 14 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 47. As I mentioned earlier, certainly looked the threat that we'd all hoped that he would be when he arrived. Watch this space for the future. Jack White, excellent again this morning, 3 for 27 from 11 overs and 3 maidens. Matthew Revis, 12 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 46. George Hill, 7 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 17. And Harry Brook at 7.1 overs, 3 maidens, 3 for 11. George, with that odd delivery that he missed yesterday, kind of rounded things up with that final wicket off the first ball of the over. So the official result sees Yorkshire win by an innings and 127 runs. They'll take 16 points for the win, plus 7 others.
23 points.
23 points, and Surrey picking up just the 2. And so, league table-wise, that will move Yorkshire on to 71, which is much closer to the right end of the table than the wrong. Surrey on to 74, and obviously pending results coming in from elsewhere. Yeah, strange one. I mean, it's been a head-scratcher to see Yorkshire to be able to produce a performance like this after what they produced last week. And I'm sure when I speak to Anthony McGraw after this game, he'll be using that word consistency, won't he? Just trying to find that, because they've shown that they've got the ability to beat 2 good sides. You know, Somerset away, Surrey here, 2 good sides. So they've got that ability. We know that Surrey boys have got that. I'm sure whoever you're playing against next time in red ball cricket will be feeling the brunt of this performance with a reaction.
And I think in Division 1 you cannot afford, when Surrey have been sort of winning championship titles, they've just heaped so much pressure on the opposition, especially with the ball. And that's exactly what Yorkshire have done here to Surrey. And they've been utterly relentless with the ball. And yes, the big partnership between Lythe and Bairstow was terrific, but it was really with the ball that they dominated Surrey. So they thoroughly deserve this win, Yorkshire. Absolutely do. And they've played some brilliant cricket. And yeah, if they can put this together again and again and again, they'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season, Yorkshire. No doubt whatsoever about that, because they've got the talent. They really have got the talent. But it's, as you say, that consistency thing, isn't it? Okay,
so with the sun shining on Headingley and on Yorkshire cricket, for the moment at least, pertinent to say thanks to Liam for his input of the last few days. Thanks also to DT for coming in and bothering us for a few days. Thanks very much to Churchy once again, always a pleasure. And thanks to you for viewing and listening. We'll be back at our various games later in the week for Yorkshire. Well, as I say, down at Trent Bridge on Friday night. If red ball cricket He's proving inconsistent, but very, very good. When it is good, then we all know what Yorkshire and T20 can bring. We're finishing with a smile on our faces, though, here. Thanks very much for your company, and we'll see you on Friday evening. Goodbye from all of us at Headingley.